So the first thing that I do to make habitat is cut out the leaves. Incidentally, I brought this as an example. This is a good example of a number of leaves attached to I use grass because, incidentally, copper is also available, and a lot of people use copper. Copper is too soft for my taste, although with copper you can get more intricate twists and curls in the leaves. But I use grass, and I'll just draw a pattern on here, and I'll cut it out. You can, this is a very simple leaf shape, just a lanceolate shaped leaf.
Birch leaf.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it's kind of a generic leaf. But you can. Here's some you see. If you want a leaf with serrated edges, small serrations, then you want to buy a set of embroidery shears or pinking shears that cut those serrations. To do that with scissors is kind of hard. So anyway, I'll draw the leaf on the brass. At the base of the leaf, I'll show it to you when I cut it with the scissors, because I can form that around the stem for additional strength. When you cut out the leaf like this, you're going to get a burr on it and a sharp edge, and with that burr you can't paint it. You got to get rid of that burr, and also with a sharp edge, you find that you're likely to cut yourself, which I suppose all of you guys who have done any work with any of this brass sheet have experienced that pleasure.
We never cut ourselves.
I don't know. I was told, and I found it to be true, that you're going to lose something. So I cut out the leaf, and there's a little square here at the back, and I'll show you why that's there in a minute. The next move is to get rid of the burr all around the edge. You can feel it. You can feel that burr.
Cut your finger off.
You can't paint that. And I'll use this thing. What I've got here is a couple of circles of brown Scotch-Brite. It's slightly abrasive. Scotch-Brite, you can get various abrasive qualities, from white, which is very fine, down to black, which is very coarse. I like brown, which is next to black. Black crumbles. I don't know why, but that black just crumbles so fast you can't use it. And also sometimes cuts too fast.
Green's pretty abrasive too.
Yeah. It's I guess a function of how fast you want to cut it.
Well, I was thinking, if you use it at home, be careful. I mean, people buy Scotch-Brite thinking, and some of it has silicon carbide embedded in the plastic, so if you're working on a pot, I mean, you can, or some, cooking utensils, really have fun.
Yeah. Yeah, we used to take green Scotch-Brite when we went camping to clean our cooking.
Don't rub that on.
Now I'll go around go around the whole periphery of this, both sides. Get rid of that. Get rid of that burr.
So essentially you're deburring it.
What's that?
Deburring it.
Yeah.
Thanks for the big word, Todd.
I'll just be quiet.
It truly is a red green show now.
You learned all the big words in the library, right?
I've used some of them at work.
If you make a leaf like maybe an elm leaf, something like that with lots of minute serrations on the edge, you got to be a little careful doing this or you'll eat your serrations away. Maybe in such a case you'd want to use green, but I never have. I suppose it's pretty obvious. And now I'll polish a stripe down the middle here because we're going to solder a stem on it. And you have to have, for a good soldering job, you've got to have bright, clean metal. If you feel that, you can feel how the edge feels now.
Don't go look at that stripe position.
Okay. Yeah. Next thing is to put the veins in it. I use a pad of paper towel. You want something with a little give to it. I emboss the veins with an embossing tool. I use, I don't know what size that is. That looks like about a 3/32 ball on there. You can, for different kind of leaves and different kind of veins, you can use different sizes here. But if you use the really small one, you've got to be careful that you don't punch through it, especially if you use copper, which is very soft. And I'll put the central vein in first, and I'm going to put that down on the side opposite from where I polished it. And
Start at the top or the bottom?
I usually start at the top and work down through there. And I don't carry it all the way to the edge. I leave some unembossed area from the end of the vein to the edge of the leaf. Somehow I think that looks better. So I'll put kind of a curved vein in there. And then we'll emboss try and bring them into the vein. So I'll start up the center vein and I'll come up like this, and that's probably a good one. Now in this case, I'm going to draw the veins coming out of the center rib. The veins on either side of the leaf coming out from the same point in the center rib. All leaves aren't like that. Some of them have staggered veins. So, you're going to make a habitat. You're going to have a sample leaf that you're going to use. Incidentally, when I'm making habitat, I usually have 3 different leaf sizes. I've never made any habitat so extensive I needed more than 3 different leaf sizes to get the effect that I wanted. But and one of these things is broken, you gotta repair it, you gotta put on a new leaf. That's unpleasant, that's hard to do. Because, you can't damage what's already been done, you gotta fasten it in there, solder it in without damaging it, it's hard to do.
Where do you buy that?
I got it at Hub Hobby,
At Hub, okay.
but I must admit, I bet I bought this thing maybe 8 or 10 years ago.
There's still a hub in town, right?
Yeah, I mean, whether they still deal with it. Yeah, there's a hub up on
Roseville?
64th and
32,000.
yeah, 32,000 phosphor bronze. It won't break, it'll stand up. So you cut off what you think might be a reasonable length. Don't skimp, make it plenty long. You can always cut it off. I won't draw the temper on this, but I'll polish it. Because we're going to solder it. And I want it for maybe a third, half the length of the leaf. I won't go all the way up the leaf. There's an interesting article on making leaves and habitat in, I think it's winter issue of Wildflower Gardens. Laurie Corbett makes willow leaves. And her technique is in general the same as mine, but she has some different features. She, for example, will put a wire down the central vein. I don't. It depends on the kind of leaf you're making. So I'm going to solder this now, and you solder it to the back side of the leaf. The depressions are from the top. In other words, the veins are raised on the underside of the leaf. This is fire brick. And I guess that looks pretty well polished. And I polished the stripe down the center here. I'll just make sure I can get any finger oil or something on it. Now you got to fasten that down before you solder it, so it doesn't move. And I found these little metal thumbtacks.
Push pins.
Push pins,
It goes right in that fire brick?
yeah. This fire brick is soft.
Really?
Yeah, soft.
You put it right, you don't put it in.
You should have said
No,
you're just that tough.
This is,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, this
Next to the edge.
yeah, right, yeah, just next to the edge.
So it looks like you're pushing it in.
I'm trying to get this down as flat as I can. Let's see if we can get another one down
So where do you get fire brick? I hate to ask dumb questions, but.
here. Any store that caters the rod on this leaf, I'll lay it along the vein that embossed or inscribed, I think I better bend it a little bit. And this phosphor bronze doesn't bend all that easily. That's the idea of using it in the first place.
Does that lose its temper when it gets hot, the phosphor bronze?
Yeah, you can draw the temper on it, but it's not gonna get that hot.
That's what we use for duck call reeds, that's phosphor bronze.
Yeah. I'll put a pin here to hold it. Yeah, that's pretty good. 42, 43, I worked in laboratory at the University of Chicago, and we made our own flux. We took batteries and peeled the zinc coating off the batteries and put it in hydrochloric acid and made the flux so we could make solder to make, we made equipment, medical equipment. So this is zinc chloride, and it's really good stuff.
We can do that next month.
When did you do this, 42?
Yeah.
No, zinc chloride. The hydrochloric acid might get vertical.
1940. I was a young man.
Yeah, you had all your hair then, right? Like,
Yeah, right.
So was I.
then you started using zinc chloride.
1842 or 1942?
Yeah.
What war was it?
Yeah. So I put a drop of this flux on there, and then ran it along the shaft to make sure that there's flux under the shaft the whole length of it. Cut off a little piece of solder. So I got a cutter here. Not too much.
Silver solder?
This is, yeah, silver solder.
How much, what percentage silver is in that silver solder?
Gee, I don't know.
Is that part lead too?
It's CAD-free. That's all it says. I don't think there's lead in it.
Tin
No,
and silver?
Gotta be something other than silver.
Tin.
Silver's too
Yeah.
hard to melt.
Yeah, there's something, it's a mix of something, but I don't know what it is.
Tin?
Yep, could be tin. Now, I put it there. I'm getting a little ancient, so my hands is shakier than I like it. So anyway, I'll lay it right up against the rod. You get one of these little torches, you get one of these at these places that cater to jewelry hobbyists too. I don't know, 20 bucks. It's a butane torch. 25 bucks, something like that. I'll just stroke it in, and I'll come in from the backside because the force of this flame will move that solder. And you got everything set just right, you put the flame on it and the solder rolls. So I'll just come in easily from this side here. See that?
Boy, that melts right away.
Now, that didn't flow well. And I don't know why that didn't flow well. If it doesn't flow well, don't try and correct it. Take it apart, polish it all, start all over again.
Rebuff it.
Yeah, buff it, start over from scratch. That didn't flow well. Usually it just zip.
You
right
went
down.
that way instead of that way.
It could be.
It'll go uphill okay?
What's that?
It'll go uphill okay? The force of that?
Yeah,
I got a question.
Yeah,
When you had that set on one side,
yeah.
the other side, would it make any sense to like tip that just a hair so that it doesn't want to?
Probably would have.
Doesn't capillary action bring it in? I don't think.
Yeah.
Necessarily.
No, I've
direction?
got no choice.
It won't pull it away, it won't blow it away. It'll lay there.
I'm gonna have to do it
He
again.
actually did have it on this side.
I had it on the side,
Ran right out, huh?
and,
As soon as that fluid in. You know, it probably wouldn't have if it had been just.
Put a little more on there.
what's
Sure
that?
beats that big soldering iron that I used when I tried to make some sleep.
That thing out there.
Well, this is a part of the demonstration that I was hoping I wouldn't have to do. But,
It's a bonus.
on occasion it happens.
It happened to us, when we
Yeah. Yeah, don't try and repair it. Just take it apart and start over from scratch.
We're the same. So don't even use the same one.
Oh, no, you use the same one.
There's probably just enough people handling it with fingerprints that would
Well,
do it, wouldn't it?
I don't think I directed the flame
I
properly.
think it was mine then.
Yeah.
You had a cheeseburger before you came here.
Somebody had garlic breath and it ruined the flux.
When you put those
Still got it done.
Yeah, that's.
Paying attention.
Try again here. Okay.
Didn't touch it on the end.
Yeah, I'm trying to get that, I want to get that end down.
Maybe you have to bend it a little.
Yeah, I think I gotta bend that a little. 'Cause I don't want the end up in the air. I don't want,
Let's see, the zinc chloride.
helps a little bit. Yeah, there's still some there. We'll go ahead. Okay, try again. Now that's far too much flux on there, which may be the problem that I had before. Okay. Okay, here goes nothing.
Pretty good job there.
Yeah, that flowed pretty well. Now, what I'm going to do is just grind the end off of this thing here, because see, there's an abrupt end on that stem. And you got to be careful, or this thing will cut a hole in the leaf. If it does, maybe you can shape it a little bit and put a little black and brown around it when you paint it and make it look like a bug bite. But it's strange when all your leaves have got a bug bite right in the middle.
Same bug.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's probably good enough.
Let's see what you
About
got.
A minus.
You gotta fasten the branch to a stem. And I'm using brass tubing. Incidentally, if you're gonna make something like this, you know, it's got some curvature and so forth. That tubing here is the same as this, but you need to reinforce that tubing by putting another tube in the center. Because otherwise, when you cut into it to stick a branch into it, you weaken it so much that it lacks strength. And that means but you got to put them together first before you do any bending, because you'll never get the inside tubing in. So you fit them together, and then you draw the temper on this stuff so you can bend it. I won't fit this in the center of all that because we're not going to make a branch like that. But I will draw the temper on this for some distance because we'll be, you know, so we can bend it. But if you you put two of these things together and then you try and shape something like that, you find that's very hard to do. You have to draw the temper. I can tell when the temper is drawn when it burns yellow. And you see, you can see I'm getting a little yellow flame off of that. And so I'm drawing the temper on this. And that ought to be about enough on that one, I would think.
What are you looking for again?
I'm softening it in case I want to bend it.
Right, but how, you look for a certain glow or?
Yeah, I'm looking for the. You see the brass has a brightness to it. If you look just at the head of the flame, you see that?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. You don't have to get it red hot.
Just do it once.
Yeah, yes. And I don't know if I put that, I've never really tried it, if I stuck it in cold water, whether that would re-temper it or not. Probably would not. I've just never done it. So I'm just going to let it cool. And I'm going to draw the temper on this. This is going to be the stem.
Slow cooling is better if you're taking the temperature.
Yeah,
If you stuck that in, zap, it wouldn't, it'd be hard.
it would, huh? Yeah.
That's how you retemper.
Yeah, if you sneak up on
Back up
it.
to heat and then go.
In steel, you do it that way. You don't do that with brass, though, do you?
Yeah, I'm not sure. But steel, you have to, that's how I temper.
Yeah, steel.
Yeah, I
Take
know
a
that
horseshoe and
it'll
stick
do
it
that
in
with
red
steel.
hot. You ain't gonna move it.
You ever try a brass horseshoe?
I mean,
Yeah.
it's flexible. There's a guy that, out east, his daughter got married, and he shot two horses with all kind of shoes. He put them on just before they took off. They went about a mile, and he pulled them all off, and then, yeah, they wouldn't last them.
Yeah, they just wore down.
Yeah, but it was, as a wedding reminder.
So all the girls would get a horseshoe.
Okay, now I gotta cut off, I gotta cut off a couple of pieces, I'll cut off this, and I'll cut off this.
Yeah, that's what I was surprised by.
And I use one of these cutoff wheels. I buy these from Well, I buy things like this from Woodcraft in Bettendorf. He's not connected with the National Woodcraft chain. He was the first with the name, but he didn't copyright it. So it's, I can't think of his name, but it's yeah, it's a Woodcraft store in Bettendorf. I find he's the best source for all of this kind of stuff.
Maybe pinwheels there, you can get them up seared.
Yeah, probably. I'm tired tonight, and I'm kind of shaky, but I guess I can get it started here.
Needs a drink.
Yeah.
You're such a pervert, Bauer.
When you're doing, what I'm going to do is cut off these brass rods, but if you do anything like this, you want eye protection. I wear glasses, so I'm not using a hood, but because if you get it a little crosswise, that shatters and it flies. Fortunately, the Dremel turns in only one direction, which is what? Is that clockwise or counterclockwise? Anyway, it turns in the right direction. If you're using your using your guest wine or your NSK or whatnot, you got it in the wrong direction and you put it on, the wheel will spin off. Okay. I should have brought a piece of wood. I thought I had a piece of scrap wood in here. But, what's that? I'll cut it here. Would you hold your hand there to keep that from throwing? I'm going to need both my hands to keep getting this crossways.
I'm using you for eye protection.
The Scotch-Brite to polish the ends. This stuff cuts pretty good. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is, where is that other piece? Oh God, that's my perennial problem.
That one you stay.
Yeah, there it is. The same price. Shouldn't use the light.
That matters, camouflage, isn't
Yeah, I
it?
can't see it. I'm gonna cut a hole in this thing, and we'll put this in here like that. That'll be the branch. Then I'll cut a hole in the branch and stick the leaf in. And then that's the end of the demonstration. In order to drill a hole, this may be old hat to most of you guys, but you try and put a drill on that, and you can't get it through. You know, it keeps walking all over. So I'm going to nick it as a drill guide, and I'll nick it with that cutting wheel. Make a little X there. Now I can put a drill, and I just had it here. Incidentally, that drill, drill doesn't fit one of these collets. This particular drill didn't anyway. So that's 3/32nd brass tubing, or no, that's 8th brass tubing. And I put the drill inside it, and I filled it with super glue. So now this fits in here, and is good enough to drill a hole in this thing. There it is. I don't know what I'd do. I wouldn't get along without you guys here. Boy, is this drill down. Oof, that's hot.
Might have to sharpen that drill.
That drill needs sharpening, very
Come
definitely.
back next month, there's gonna be somebody here.
Hey, you got a sharpening wheel, you need to sharpen that drill.
Dennis.
There we go.
You burned it through.
Ever seen the marathon man?
Melded it through. Right. Okay, now
I think that was the movie.
we got to clean up that hole.
It's still hot, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is.
I'm sort of sensitive to that.
Yeah.
You grab one or two of those things and you learn after a while.
You're a quick learner?
Yeah, it doesn't take me long to look at a horseshoe.
Which all gets tiled, so he can,
Now this wheel disintegrates as you use it, and I can feel that, striking all over my face. So you want eye protection when you're doing this.
You got little specks in your glasses.
Yeah, right. Okay, so that's a hole that we're going to fasten this thing in. And what we'll do is bend a reinforcement to go into that hole. We'll put a little L-shaped piece that goes down in here, comes out this way. You fit this onto it, cut the end of this to the angle you want, fit that onto it, and then silver solder. Okay. So I'm gonna stretch.
So that little insert also sets the angle that you want your leaf to be at.
Yeah, right. Well, the branch.
Or branch.
Yeah. And getting that. This is what I'm going to use, and getting that to bend around the corner is kind of a tricky job. You can use a smaller wire, but then it doesn't have the same supporting strength. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grind a little bit off of this. Where's and I want it polished like that too, because we're gonna silver solder it, and everything has got to be bright or the solder won't grip. Probably was a little rough. I'm trying to bend this in a semicircle so I can fit it down inside the tube. We got in there. We need more than that. Okay, I'm gonna have to do a little more fitting here.
Couldn't you insert one of those phosphor bronze wires in there, which would be stronger and smaller?
Yeah, you probably could. And that might be a better way to do it. You can use a smaller, ouch. You can use a smaller wire than this. But if you have a real small wire, then this thing moves a little bit, which means it may not be perfectly centered the way you want it. That may not make any difference. Yeah, a smaller wire is easier to use. Gives you but more slop in the fit.
Aren't you going to
the silver
wrap
solder
some
would take up
two-party
that slop,
epoxy
wouldn't it?
around that anyway to make your
Uh,
bark and stuff?
yeah, I put some, I'll put some gesso and acrylic paste around it, you know. Yeah.
Iron.
All right, well, let's see, we're having a little trouble here. Where is this gizmo? Maybe I'll just, maybe just to go ahead and move and keep this moving, I will switch over to a small use phosphor bronze. It's smaller and just to keep moving. Let's see if we can get that in now.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. You were right.
All right, it doesn't go this time, we'll use a smaller wire.
You can pinch that smaller with pliers.
Yeah.
Keep him busy anyway. We didn't go next year. Yeah, we go to Rooms. We went down to the ski. Yeah, I did.
That'll do. Okay. Hold it. Okay, this piece that I cut off to make the branch out of, where the heck is that?
Here? No, that's the leaf.
There's this one.
Laying on this block right on the front of there.
Yeah, right, there it is, there it is.
Eagle eye over there.
Yeah.
Paying attention.
That's the reason he couldn't see, it was too close.
Well, that's fair enough, yeah. If I don't happen to be looking through the right part of the trifocals, I can't see it.
Search for the sweet spot.
Yeah. Okay, I'll polish this up. And cut off the end for an angle so it'll fit on the branch. And that is this thing here.
So I gotta have a jungle. And it's all shades
I fit this over here and, you know, over the rod. Just push them in together here.
We have a hill that goes up like this and multiple edges of this grass and go up into the woods.
Yeah, well, that's okay. I got too much of the rod. I don't need that long.
Don't even look for that piece.
What's that?
Don't even look for that piece.
Oh,
They'll be ticking on the vacuum cleaner when they come around here.
Yeah. They'll find it for us.
Okay. There you go. Now,
So you don't flux those parts that are inside the tube then, it's just the...
There you go.
see any?
Yep, it's running through. I seen it run into the brick.
Yeah, there it goes. Okay. Now, I'll cut a piece of solder to form that joint, but I have to bend it in a U, otherwise the force of the flame will blow it away. You know, and hang it over the joint.
Just the driver tag off someplace.
I'll sign it next month. Let's check in and play that part of
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. Said it was easy.
Yeah, because the one in the bathroom, you know, that has to be put in there. And I guys can
Let's just make sure I didn't rub all the flux off here. And where the flux here, there it is. Thank you.
Caps on. He could have figured that out. You didn't have to tell him that.
I learned that quite soon.
You tell him to press a button now? Nope. Yep, sucked her right in.
Beauteous.
Okay. And the spritzer.
We weren't even thought about it yet.
Good dog, big dog.
Yeah, that's a
There
pretty
it
good
is.
joint.
Yep. Pretty good. All the way around.
I think I know why you say you don't do a lot of leaves in your habitats. You don't do jungle settings very often.
Full size.
I'm gonna put a hole in here, and I'm gonna solder the leaf in that hole. You know, it's if I was gonna make a branch with several leaves on it. You could put it in here and solder it on this end too. Maybe I'll just do that, because there's nothing new to show about drilling a hole. We can put it in here. If you put it in here, you want to make an L bend in it. You want to make a little hook to hold it in place. You put it in the end, you don't have to. But if you're going to solder this, you don't want that joint to come apart, and you don't want that joint to come apart. So you're going to have to make heat sinks. Those are very, very intricate affairs. I'll show you how to make heat sinks. Where's my compass here? I'll just stick this on the end, so we'll save a little time there. That's probably about long enough. And I'll put a little bend in it to hold it in place. Now we got to polish it all.
But he used to be around because they have to go where we're going for that mill site.
Waiting to carve it.
Being there, we'll just see.
Haven't figured it out yet. You got it.
Okay.
Somebody got that piece I just made?
This one here?
Hang in there.
It wasn't in my trifle?
It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You want to chastise me again, Mike?
You're okay.
You redeemed yourself.
Okay. Now, if you're gonna, if it's a fairly intricate piece,
Yeah, it's
you'll need this, you know, to hold things in place. Like when I was doing this, I used this to hold this and hold this, and then to hold the leaf in place. Because when you want to solder it, you don't want anything to move. And if you're going to buy one of these and you don't already have one, I suggest going to Bettendorf and getting one of these with 3 fingers. Everybody and his brother will sell you one that's got 2 fingers. And they're not enough. You need 3 fingers. Some guys really set up elaborate setups with multiple fingers, but I find that's good. Okay, on this, since I'm just going to stick it in the end here, I'll pinch the end of the tube to hold it in place. And I'm going to make heat sinks, which is a section of paper towel soaked in water and wrapped around the joint you don't want to get soft.
Your spritzer.
See, here we go.
How'd you learn all that?
Well,
That'd be stupid.
yeah, yeah.
Somebody show you, or?
Yeah, I took a class from Googie.
Oh.
Yeah, most of what I'm showing you is what I learned from Googie. Let's just turn the leaf over here so we can see that joint.
The who?
Frank Peters.
Did Googie have a spitzer like that?
Yeah, I don't know what he used. I think he probably spit on it, but I'm afraid I don't remember that. But that's what I want to do there. Now, come on.
But you never see,
Decoupage leaves?
Yeah, you can use a toothpick on them or something, or
Well, yeah,
pipe
yeah.
cleaner.
Yeah, you cut them out of a brown paper bag, glue a stem on it, soak it in lacquer, and shape it the way you want it, and then you can paint it. But they're not really sturdy, so you want it down on the ground, underneath things,
Was it on the way back from the bank one time we ran down to the bank?
oh. Yeah, that's right.
Way down in,
Okay, that ought to do that. And the flux, okay, that was in the bifocal, so I saw that.
Within range.
Yeah,
You're gonna have to get some of the progressive lenses.
Yeah,
Like
that-
the young guys are getting.
yeah. When you get by trifocals, it is a problem. When I'm working, I find pretty soon everything is like this. Anything out here, you see, I can't see, so everything is right around.
He's had all kinds of neat stuff in there.
yeah.
Anyway, check that.
Why didn't that work?
How's, Rita? He said, I don't know, we're divorced. Yeah, they got divorced. And then I made some kind of one.
Okay, and you see the joy of that is that it didn't loosen up your other joints, which you don't want to happen. Habitat is made, then put it in warm water, soak it around, gospel. You want to rinse all that zinc chloride off, and get all that flux off. You got to heat your copper inside.
So we spent a
Then I'm told that the wise thing to do is to spray it with lacquer. Googie said that if you don't do that, this will corrode over the years and it'll come through whatever you use it as a covering over it. I've made stuff like this for 20 years, and nothing has ever come through. And I haven't always lacquered it, but, it's not much effort. Why run the risk? Now, so you rinse all the flux off, dry it, and you lacquer it. Now, let's say we want to shape this. Now, I drew the temper on this, so I can shape this. I want to bend up a branch here a little bit, you see. I didn't draw the temper on this. This is a lot harder
They're here every year.
to bend,
They're the
but
first ones that come in and.
you can do something like that.
Once you see them, you see them.
The habitat, I make a mixture of gesso and acrylic paste. If you want a real coarse bark, then it's a lot of acrylic paste. If you want it fairly smooth, it's more gesso. Paint it on, get a coarse brush, and draw it down longitudinally. And if you've got a lot of acrylic paste in, you'll get a lumpy finish. That'll give you a kind of a smoother finish.
And that'll cover up the joints, like
Yeah.
right there, it'll
Yeah, well, yeah,
blend
yeah.
So
in.
you don't have to actually use epoxy like some people do.
No.
You read in the book, they'll
No.
epoxy around it and then they'll let it harden and then grind it down.
Yeah, no, I don't do that. And I'd use that, I'll use that acrylic paste on it here too. What do you go, flexing or whatever, you know, some curls in it. This is, I got this from a clay modeling kit, but any kind of a smooth thing like this, you know, you want a curl on the end.
Probably even use your finger.
Yeah, or you can use something round if you want. You want a curl on the side. So forth. You get a crease in it, like I did. I should have taken that crease out. It was in this thing when I cut it. But I could taken that crease out with this before I cut it. That's about the extent of the curls that you can get with brass. If you try and do anything more extensive, you always run into crimps, kinks. With copper, you can do a lot more with it. Copper's awfully soft. I don't like it. So I don't know, was that useful?
Very,
Yeah, thank you.
very simple.
Okay?
Thank you.
Pleasure.